My friends, what's going on, guys? My name is Kai. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. What I love to do on my channel is just give tips, hope, and advice, helping people and telling stories about my own experience with alcoholism and trying to let people know that there's definitely a way to recover from it. That being said, I would also like to talk to you guys today about something that might be a little controversial, but keep in mind this is 100% based on my own experience with the diseases that I'm going to be talking about. This does not mean that one is better than the other. This is just how I compare them in my life and how they reflected me. That being said, today I want to talk about what was worse for me. Alcoholism or cancer, like literal cancer. So first, let me talk about my cancer. I am a cancer survivor. I've been cancer free now for about 7 years, which is fantastic because it was an ongoing thing, but I'm healthy now. I do have to have some procedure done probably in the next year. But it's nothing bad. I don't have cancer. It's purely cosmetic. That being said, I am a cancer survivor. I had bone cancer in my orbital bone, and it destroyed a large piece of my orbital bone, and it went into my sinus, and it affected a lot of things. It also went into my jaw on the top here. And that being said, once I found out about it, I've told this story on my channel before. If you're new to the channel, I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what happened. If you're more interested, I have a detailed version of this story on my channel. I would love for you to check it out. But the basics of it is I went into the dentist one day when I was young, when I was about 16 years old, and I had problems with my wisdom teeth. And I went into the doctor and he took x-rays, and it turns out that there was actually tumors, one tumor in this side of my face. And from there I went down to Princess Margaret Hospital in Toronto, Ontario, which is like the premier cancer center, and they started doing tests, and they ended up giving me a surgery, and they removed the tumor. And then it came back a year later, and they removed it, and it wasn't cancerous. This happened over and over again until I believe on the fifth or sixth time, it turned out that it was cancerous. And while we did catch it early, we didn't catch it in time for it not to do damage. So the damage that it did was it basically ate away at my entire orbital bone, and it ate away at my sinus, and it was just incredibly painful to deal with. So when I went through my surgery, I had a large tumor removed, but I also had a large piece of my shoulder removed as well. And what they did is they took the piece of the shoulder blade and they shaped it into a new orbital bone. So I have a big scar that goes down the side of my chest here, or my side here, and that's because they took a piece of my shoulder blade out, they shaved it off, did whatever they needed to do, and they made it into my orbital bone, which I think is absolutely amazing. But the problem was I had a lot of rehab to do. I had a lot of training to do because I had to get better, you know. For the first month while I was in the hospital, it sucked. It was awful. I was basically bedridden the whole time. I had to wear compression stockings. I had nurses come and, you know, move my feet up and down, and it was awful. I had a catheter bag. It was terrible. The very little bit of walking that I did do was just around the head and neck ward that I was in. But one night I actually ended up getting lost, and I ended up walking out of the hospital onto a busy downtown Toronto street where the hospital district is in Toronto, and I was just standing there on the street, and luckily a nice passerby helped me and got me into the hospital again. But either way, it was not fun. It was not fun. And then even once I got out of the hospital, It took me about a year to fully rehab my shoulder. It was very painful, and it just sucked. It just sucked. And then after that, that's where my alcoholism started. So again, I have lots of videos on my channel about my alcoholism. That's basically what this whole channel is about. But if you are new here, let me tell you, I had a big drinking problem. It was my big problem. I had it for 10 years. I basically ruined every relationship I had. It was not fun. And it destroyed my body. It destroyed my mental health. It destroyed everything that I really cared about. My parents couldn't trust me anymore. My family always had to worry about me. It was just not a nice thing for me at all. And I ended up losing my house. I ended up not my house, my apartment. I ended up losing my apartment. I lost everything. I lost everything, and after 10 years of it, I wanted to end my life, and I hated it. Luckily, I ended up going to rehab recently, about a year ago now, and I'm better now, and I feel incredible now, and the things that I do online and in my community, it just makes me feel so wonderful. So, the big comparison for me here is, which one was worse, my cancer or my alcoholism? And I would say 1,000,000,000% my alcoholism was worse. While my cancer was incredibly painful and embarrassing at times because I had a feeding tube and I had a catheter, it was incredibly hard. It was hard on my family. It was hard on my mom. I remember sitting in the office with my mom during the first interview that we had, where my doctor said that I had cancer, and she just broke down crying. I'll never forget that. But that was incredibly hard. But my alcoholism, 1,000% was worse, because I lost everything. I had to restart my entire life. I'm glad that I restarted my life, but I lost 10 years of my life. I lost 10 years of productivity, and it just sucks. It just sucks that I lost that. But you know what? I'm doing great now. I'm over 400 days sober now, and I'm doing wonderful things. So that makes up... Ooh, that was a weird sound. That makes up to me for a lot of the bad things I've done. I've apologized to the people that I need to apologize to, and now I'm just working on living a better life, a peaceful life, and a happy life, So, that being said, that's my comparison. My cancer versus my alcoholism. Definitely my alcoholism was worse. Definitely. Guys, maybe that resonates with you. You might not get cancer, but alcoholism is a very easy thing to get, and it was definitely worse than having cancer and going through all of these surgeries. It was horrible. Yeah, so that's my video. Other than that, I see that my camera battery's dying, so I hope this doesn't cut off. But I hope you have a wonderful night, guys. I hope you have a nice time wherever you are in the whole wide world. Please be safe. Please be sober. If you're not sober, that's totally fine. Just have a ride home. Be safe about it. Be with good people. Alright, guys? Have a nice night. Bye, guys. Ooh, there's wires everywhere. Sorry.